In this video, we are going to be talking about upgrades to yourself in terms of skills that you can pick up to do marketing much, much better. This is similar to the multiplier section in the previous video, but this is going into a lot more specific about actual skills that you can pick up, right? First one is interviewing people. And I don't mean that you're going to be interviewing them for content, although that is a good idea. What I mean is that you're going to be having the skill to talk to prospective customers and understand each aspect of your game plan. When you're building out the game plan, you have made assumptions, right? And you need a way to go ahead and test them out. And having conversations with people, interviewing them to figure out, is this assumption right or wrong, is a great skill to pick up. The Mom Test is a fantastic book that helps you learn this one particular skill. But learning the skill is not enough. You do have to apply it and you need to get in that practice. That's when you get better. Next up is psychology and human behavior. Marketing is all about understanding what makes other people tick and using that to help them help themselves, right? And when that happens, you need to learn about psychology and human behavior. There are many different ways to learn about this. The ways that I would recommend that you approach this is to perhaps read a couple of books, such as Thinking Fast and Slow, or the Octalysis Framework, or even Game Design, a book of lenses. Fantastic books that help you understand how, like, the psychology behind how people work. There's, again, tons and tons of research. Nirayal's Hooked is a great book as well. That's a great place for you to get started to learn about psychology and human behavior. Direct response copywriting is an important skill, and there are many different resources that you can use to learn this particular skill. I will not make a particular recommendation because my knowledge in this might be obsolete or out of date. What did really help me when I was starting out was hanging out in different copywriting discords. And there are a bunch of free copywriting courses that you can do. Again, books such as The Boron Letters or Robert Collier's Handbook and Breakthrough Advertising would be good places for you to start, but make sure that your skills are up to date with the modern technologies and the ideas that we use as well. Storytelling is a kick-ass skill because we humans, we communicate in stories. There are many different ways to learn this, but I would recommend that you look at any of Nancy Duarte's book. I believe her book Resonate is a great way to look at storytelling. Her other books, such as Slidology and Illuminate, I believe, they're also great books to pick up and read through as a founder as well. The Storytelling Animal, unfortunately, I forgot the author's name, is a good book. And of course, the one that started it all for me was Hero with a Thousand Faces, or Man with a Thousand Faces by Dr. Joseph Campbell. Writer's Journey by Christopher Vogler is a good book to get you started with storytelling as well. Delegation. I suck at this, but I know that if I learn how to delegate stuff, I'd be able to get a lot more done. This is an important skill. I don't have any advice on how you can learn this, but please learn it. And if you do learn it, teach me how. Public speaking, being comfortable in front of an audience, being able to talk to a camera, being able to weave a narrative or a story or share something without getting the other people to lose attention is a skill unto itself. I learned a lot about public speaking by being a part of Toastmasters. I've been a part of several speaking competitions as well. It's a very, very useful skill that kind of compounds other aspects as well. If you don't want to go to Toastmasters, I would recommend you try playing Dungeons and Dragons with a DM who's kind and supportive. That's going to help you, again, practice some of the skills that you need for public speaking. Acting, improv, these are, again, things that you can do to pick up the skills of public speaking as well. Building partnerships is an art unto itself. The way you start, build, and nurture your relationship with your customers, you have to do that with partners as well. And again, this stuff doesn't happen overnight. So you do have to put in the effort to find the right one and the right approach. Experimentation, again, it ties back to conversion rate optimization and growth hacking, both of which are very, very valuable and useful skills to develop. When you're looking at this, you want to make sure that you understand some basics of statistics. The way I learned statistics was through a book called Head First Statistics. I don't know if it's still available. It was a purple and white book and was an amazing way to get started. Teaching. Teaching, believe it or not, is a great way for you to do some marketing, right? Because when you're able to teach people stuff, it demonstrates your expertise. You're adding a lot of value to them. and you're solving a problem for that as well. There are great ways to learn how to teach, but I found that to get started, just start teaching people stuff. And then later, you can look at different processes to go ahead and learn teaching. The training and facilitation book for dummies, something like that in the dummies series, is a great way for you to start learning how to teach as well. Beyond that, you can look at learning and development as well as instructional design as starting points for your searches in how to become a better teacher. Visual thinking, I learned about this label very recently. However, I've been doing this for a long time. Visual thinking is that you look at how you can communicate your ideas in a visual way. It could be by doodling. It could be by creating sketch notes. It could be by creating mind maps. It could be by creating a graph of knowledge. There are many different ways that you can look at communicating what you want to communicate in a visual way. And it's not something that is restricted to somebody who is an artist. I can't draw well. I can draw stick figures and I can draw funny stuff like dirty stuff, but I still use all of those skills to think visually. If you're interested in visual thinking, make sure you let me know on Twitter or on email, and because I might have something in particular interest to you. Thinking in intersections. This is all about creativity and combinations. It is often argued that there is nothing new under the sun, but there are a whole bunch of new ideas that seem to pop up all the time. And the way that happens is when you are intersecting stuff, right? When you take something from A, take something from B, you put that together, then you get something that is new, something that has not been seen before. Take this course, for example. There are many marketing courses out there. There are many different people who are teaching marketing, but I suspect that I'm the first and perhaps the only guy who is teaching about marketing for builders using mind maps based on my experience as a CMO of running an agency and building my own startups. That is an intersection of many different things. And thinking like that is a great way for you to figure out your superpower as a part of the game plan, as well as to become the only person who's doing what you're going to be doing. All right. That said, let's look at the exercise. Pick one of these upgrades, right? But don't start learning it just yet. Go to your calendar and add a reminder for this, like 3 weeks from now. I call this adding something to the kill list. And by the time that thing comes up, 3 weeks later, if you still feel the same, pick it up and learn that skill. In the meanwhile, in those 3 weeks, spend time implementing what you've already learned. That's all I have for you in this video. And what we have coming up next is my tool stack. I'll see you there.